Chepstow to Montgomery is 88 miles. Montgomery to Prestatyn is 84 miles. This will give you lows like you've never had at any time in your life, but it will give you a joy, a satisfaction than you never found anywhere else. It will test your resilience, your courage, your tenacity, your energy. It will ask you to give when you've nothing left to give. It will give you happiness. It will give you joy. This is Offa's Dyke path. Two years ago, I came through that gate on my way from Brompton Bridge, which is behind me, when I finished the last leg of the southern half of the Offa's Dyke path, which started in Chepstow and finished here about 1 mile out of Montgomery, which is down there. So 2 years ago, I walked down there to go to my accommodation for the night, having completed 88 miles of walking over 6 days with a rest day in the middle. Today, 2 years later, I think I've already said that, I'm back on this exact same spot to start the northern half of the path, which heads off this way, where this signpost is, down this path at the edge of the cornfield, eventually to Prestatyn, which is about 84 miles from here. And I'm going to walk that in the next 6 days, well 7 days, because I'm having a rest day in the middle. Today, from here, I walk to Welshpool, which is a distance of about 12 miles from the start point at Brompton Crossroads. But I've already done 2 miles of that, so I've only got 10 miles to do. So it should be a nice, lovely day's walking. It's a beautiful summer's day. The fields, the grass is all parched. But for me, I'm going to enjoy this. There's not much uphill today. Lovely conditions for walking, so I'm going to set off. So, I'm on the road, or the path. I'm just 10 minutes in, but I thought I might as well do this, since I've remembered to bring the stick to hold the camera, so hopefully it's not too wobbly. Yeah, so it took a while to find the point on the path where I'd left it 2 years ago, because the sign was partially obscured by a high hedge, the sign for the Offa's Dyke path. So we actually passed it and went through to a farmyard where the farmer kindly told us we'd probably overshot the mark a little bit. So retraced our steps a little while, found the sign and the path, and then set off. My walking poles, or one of the walking poles, is jammed, so I can't open it, so I don't have them. But today there's not that much uphill, so I shouldn't really need them. So I've not got those, but I'm not really bothered. So yeah, just making steady ground. The great thing, of course, about Offa's Dyke is the views. They're absolutely stunning, and I'm not sure the camera captures them in their full glory. But yeah, so I'm on the way, and I'll see what adventures the path brings me this time. Despite the lack of water, the corn in this field is quite tall. Maybe not as tall as it would have been if we had lots of rain. The sheep finding shade under the oak tree. It is quite hot already. It's not even 9:30. This is a sign of how dry it's been. Look at the size and depth of that crack in the soil. I've just moved out of the fields onto this beautiful, cool, shady, enclosed path, which is quite nice after being out in the sun. I haven't seen a soul at all, no one. It's so secluded, it's so quiet and peaceful. And it got me thinking about this path and what it means. I realised when I got back onto it how much it's been needling at me for the last 2 years to say, finish me off. And so the relief I feel now, I'm actually on the path, knowing that I am finishing it off. It's tremendous. There's so much Himalayan balsam about. Got a very pretty flower, but it's an invasive species, and it spreads like wildfire, and crowds out the native species. So it's pretty to look at, but it's not good to see. Feeling like a character in Stephen King's Children of the Corn here, where you can see it is very, very high, very tall, which is what you'd expect to see. So the rain doesn't seem to have affected it. The first uphill of the day, and it's a steep one. That really is steep. After the walking over the Vale of Montgomery, where I've come from, which is nice and easy, this is, I'm not looking forward to it, but mercifully it's short. I made it up the hill, which is behind me. There, you can just see it over my shoulder. Mercifully short, as I hoped. Now it breaks out onto the top of the field. According to the guidebook, these fields were the site of the bloodiest battle in the English Civil War that was fought on Welsh soil. Can you imagine the sights and sounds that you would have seen then? The cries, the clash of armour, horses galloping, guns firing, cannons firing, the screams of the dying and the wounded, and now it's just a peaceful country idyll. 2 lovely old oak trees here, really fantastic size. So for some time the path has been actually walking or following Offa's Dyke itself, which you can see ahead of me. There's it's sloped down to the left, a rather gentle slope, and then a steeper slope to the right. It was bigger than this when it was first built, but infilling and so on and so forth and farming have built up the level of the surrounding fields, so it actually seems lower than it was originally. But this is the actual Offa's Dyke I'm walking on. So we're on a bit of a road walk now, as you can see. Boring, but at least it's easy to make progress on the road. Sometimes across the fields it can be hard going, even in this weather. At least it's not muddy, but the field is caked, dried so hard. Parts of it are in like mounds, and it's hard to get your foothold. It's really slow going, but at least this is a lot easier. For half a mile, I think, before we head off into the countryside again. So I've just stopped at the side of the path to get some water, have a break. I've been walking for 2.5 hours, so it's time I had a rest and took on some water, and having done so I feel more refreshed. You can just see the path I'm walking behind me. It's gradually ascending to an Iron Age fort called Beacon Ring. I had hoped to make it to the top, before I stopped, but I was gradually waning as I came up the path, so I thought it best to have a water break and rehydrate with some trail snacks. So I'm good to go again to tackle the rest of this ascent to the top of Beacon Ring. This uphill, it's never ending. It just keeps rising and rising and rising. The only good thing is it's in the shade, so it's cool, and since I had my rehydration stop, I have cooled down quite a lot, so feeling fresher, but the gradient is quite energy sapping. These are beautiful flowers, but I'm afraid I don't know what they're called. So the path is very well marked by these waymark signs behind me. There's the acorn and the yellow top, and they indicate that the acorn means Offa's Dyke path. So, and they're regularly situated, so there's very little chance of losing your way, but it's always best to check on the map where you are, just in case. So yeah, so I look for the acorns and follow those signposts. Oh, beautiful wildflowers, this time a whole field of them. Looking at this scenery, it doesn't look like mid Wales, does it? For me, it's like almost alpine in the greenness of the valley and the steepness of the slopes. The strange thing about this drought is that while the grass is parched and yellow, the trees and the vegetation are pretty much all green. Although a lot of the trees, there's one down there where the leaves are turning brown, are showing signs of quite a lot of stress because of the heat, and the leaves are turning the autumn colours already, and it's only the beginning of August. But isn't that a beautiful valley? I wonder what happened to those pine trees. They don't look very well stripped of the vegetation, but that's a beautiful little valley. My way continues on this easy forest track. I wonder what that's for. Just hanging on a post at the side of the forest track, and then there's these water pipes leading somewhere. So behind me is a small riverbed that leads into Offa's pool, which is in front of me behind the trees. But there's no water in it, it's completely dried up, and that's how the drought has affected this particular stream. This peaceful, quiet forest track is what I love about doing the Offa's Dyke path and walks like it. There's peace, there's quiet amongst the trees, there's no wind today, it's a bit cooler because I'm in shade, there's not even bird song because it's probably too hot for them. So there's no one around, I'm not past anyone. I saw a dog walker near King's Hill, I think it was, and a couple of guys in the same village emptying a septic tank. But apart from that, there's been no one at all. And this peace and this solitude out in the countryside, away from everything, is something you can only get if you come on a walk like this. And as I come down the forest track and see a path going off to the right, and I'm wondering, well, which one do I take? So I look for the trusty acorn because every path division on this section of the walk, there's a way marker, and there it is, telling me I'm on Offa's Dyke path and the way is straight ahead. And there's a horrible green algae covered pool, and there's a duck trying to make its way through the sludge. I feel sorry for it, I really do, but it doesn't seem that concerned. So behind me in the valley is Welshpool, which is where I'm headed, but I can't go in that direction yet because I have to complete the ascent to the Beacon Ring INH hill fort up there. So down there I'll be headed after I get to the top of Beacon Ring. Even out here in this beautiful place, somebody has to dump a carrier bag. So this is the top of Beacon Ring, which is an ancient INH hill fort. There's the views down to Welshpool and the valley of the River Severn. That's the bank which protected the the village from invaders. This is the ditch which would have been filled with water, and inside where the buildings would have been, it's been planted with conifers, and they were planted in 1953 to commemorate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. And I can't think of a greater piece of cultural vandalism than that, unless of course it's this. In the 1970s, someone decided to put two TV transmitters here, one this side, one the other side. Did they really think that was a good idea on an INH hill fort? I'm deep in a woodland here called Llandegla Plantation. The ground is quite uneven underfoot, and this is a place where you might set Grimm's fairy tales. Thick, dark forest, trees planted very closely together, and a narrow path between them. You can imagine Hansel and Gretel taking place in a forest like this. The way ahead here is quite indistinct across this field. I've just come out of the woodland there. I just about see a faint line of the track across the field, but it kind of disappears ahead. Anyway, I'm sure I'll work it out when I get to the other side. Looks like I've got some company ahead. Got some young ones with them, which isn't a good sign. So, but the path unfortunately goes through the field, so let's go for it. Hello, can I come into your field? Thank you. Yeah, they're okay. Quite calm and docile. I suppose the heat calms them down a bit, or doesn't make them feel or deprives them of energy. It certainly deprives me of energy. And there's that beautiful view down into the valley of the River Severn and Welshpool, which is my finishing point. Coming down this steep field is dangerous. The grass, which has been cut, or the straw I should say, because it's like straw, is just lying on the ground, and it just, if you get your foot under it on top of a load of the straw, it just slides away from under you like ice. And I've just dropped onto my bum once, so I'm taking this very, very gingerly, because this is very dangerous descent. This field tells a sorry story. These crops, I think, have dried up in the heat, and the farmers lost nearly all of it. And that, I'm afraid, will be the story of this summer for a lot of farmers. I've just found the bench I've been looking for lunch. It's marked in the guidebook on the map. It says special bench, and I thought I was never going to find it, but I have, and here it is. And that is so welcoming. That really is a sight for sore eyes. So I'm going to stop, have my lunch here. Really good view of Welsh Pool behind me. I've nearly finished the descent from Beacon Ring Hill there, and I'm almost at the bottom of the valley down this stony track, and the finish point at Buttington Bridge, which is on the outskirts of Welsh Pool and is actually a bridge over the River Severn. I can actually see it. Well, the path has just disappeared. There was a waymark sign up there telling me to come across this field, and no indication of where it goes. I think somewhere in this hedge there must be a crossing point. So I'm just going to have to walk around till I find it. Oh, there it is, on that gatepost, the acorn, back on track. Turn left here, down this field edge. Thank you, acorn. And this is Buttington Bridge just outside Welsh Pool, and that is the finish of day one of the northern half of Offa's Dyke path, and I don't mind telling you, I'm knackered.